How's it going this week, everybody? So I'm going to be having Will on this week, and Will came on to tell me about all the strange paranormal occurrences that happened to him and his significant other while living in an apartment complex. Very old building, and all kinds of things got very intense while he was staying there. A really interesting story, and I'm glad he came on to share it. Also, for those that have been signing up for our membership, I can't thank you guys enough. You guys really help keep those neon lights on. For those that don't know about it, you get episodes 2 weeks early. You can head over and check that out at challengetheunknown.com. Thanks for listening. I'm excited to have you on. I'm glad you came on to join me today. So why don't you just go ahead and start from the beginning and tell your story from the beginning. What happened?
All right. So this all happened like a month ago, and keep in mind that I'm not a spiritual person, so I've never really believed in this kind of things. So this experience really changed the way I see things. Because when you believe in this, I feel like it really could happen more often. I don't know, or you really see it more. But for me, it was something completely unexpected. So that's why it's it was so intense. So what happened was I recently graduated. I'm a dentist, and so I found a job in a nearby town. But it was far enough, so I would have to travel every day to go there. It would be 1 hour drive, and that would be too much. So I decided I would have to find somewhere to stay in this new town. So when I called my employer, he said there was an apartment I could stay that belonged to a friend of his. So I met the guy, and we went to see the place. And so when we got there, the rent was actually pretty low. It wasn't expensive. He made me a good offer, so it would be nice to having the opportunity to leave close by work, because it was an apartment 2 blocks away from my work. So we went there, and everything was fine. The apartment was old, fairly old actually. It was one of those old buildings downtown that never got destructed and just stay there. And he had 4 floors, so I'd have to go up the stairs a little bit every day. But other than that, it was fine. I think I mentioned that the ceiling was kind of low. That was true. It was weird, but that's normal in old buildings, especially here in Brazil. I'm actually from Brazil. Okay, so when I first went there, it was all right. It was kind of clean. There was no furniture, and the rooms were actually really big, all of them. There were 4 bedrooms, and all of them were huge. So I talked to my employer, and I accepted the opportunity because considering that I would be paying not a lot in rent. That would be a good deal for me. So everything went all right. I started working there. I got my things to the apartment. In the beginning, I had only a sleeping bag and my suitcase. So I would only stay in my sleeping bag, on my phone, and nothing really fancy around. My first week, I stayed there alone, and absolutely nothing happened. I would go to work and come back and, walk around the apartment. Not really, just my bedroom and kitchen. So after a week, I talked to my girlfriend, and she decided to come to stay with me because she was living in my hometown. So we packed our things and moved because we had found a nice place to stay. And she works from home, so moving around for her, it doesn't really matter because she can use her computer to work, and it doesn't really matter where she is. So when she came to the apartment it was after a week, and we stayed one more week together, and everything was fine already, like nothing weird ever happened. But then we decided to bring the cat with us because we have a cat and she really likes it. But the apartment had a huge balcony, so we had to set up a net to prevent it from jumping out of the balcony. I know it sounds stupid, but the cat has done that before. He had jumped before and he really got hurt. So we set up a net. But like the first time we got inside with the cat, I noticed something was weird because like our cat really likes to explore around and go everywhere he can. And when we got inside and opened his cage, he didn't really get out. He was afraid. He seemed like something was wrong. His behavior was really different from the start. But like at the point, everything was fine, so I didn't really bother about it. I just kept on living there and working and anything. So well, after that, like in a really short time, things started to change. My girlfriend also started to change. She started giving signs that something wasn't right. Before, she would never have any emotional problems. She would be a normal person. But then she started to have some changes in behavior. Like she would have humor changes. She would be like stressed all the time. We would have like fights over everything, like small things that we would never have an argument before about. But after we moved, really quickly, not just her situation, but our relationship kind of deteriorated. Well, at first I thought he had something about like moving and a different city, new people, being far from our families and our friends. And I didn't really think much of it. She would say like she didn't like the place, that it would lack sunlight, it would be suffocating. And for me, all those things, I didn't really care. I was just focused on working because it was my first job ever. So I was really trying to be able to stay there and show what I can do, what I learned from graduation. So after some time, like things got really weird between, not really like between me and my girlfriend, but with my girlfriend, like her situation. She started to like not be able to sleep at night. She would wake up in the middle of the night, like having bad dreams, nightmares. She started to talk less. She sounded like kind of depressed. You know, at one point, we really sat down and I asked her what was happening, if she had something like to tell me, something that wasn't good. And we talked, and like she said, like my girlfriend, it's just like me. She isn't spiritual. We don't have a religion or anything. But when we talked, at first she didn't say much. She said she just didn't like the place and everything. But after some time, while we were talking, she finally opened up and said that like the problem was that she thought that there was something like weird going on with the place we were living, because like there's 4 bedrooms, and she said sometimes she would hear animal-like noises. It feels weird to me to say those things, but now after all that happened, I'm opening up. It's been easier. Like she said, she would hear animal-like sounds, like goat-like sounds, just like I don't know, things screaming around, and she would feel like there was something with her all the time, following her around, shadows constantly in the corner, noises. Even though we had no furniture, she said she would hear noises, weird noises, and she just generally. No, she also said that she felt cold all the time inside the apartment, even though like the balcony gets a lot of sunlight. So one day after work, I came back home and I saw she had moved the couch to the balcony and was working there with the cat. And after that, like that was the first day she spent like a week doing that because she said she couldn't stay inside alone. She would feel bad. Um, there was one day that she woke up in the morning and showed me some red marks on her body. It was nothing like bizarre. It was just like I don't know, a scratch, but not like too serious. And I didn't think much of it. She said something had happened. I thought she was getting crazy. I thought she didn't want me having a job in that city. She was jealous of my coworkers. I don't know. I thought a lot of things at that time. So like things got worse and worse with time, and we went back to our hometown in the weekend, and she like didn't want to come back. She said the place was not good. At that moment, she was already saying things like it is haunted. There's a presence there. I don't want to leave there anymore. Um, so like we had a huge fight, an argument, and after some time, it was the weekend. We were staying at my parents' house in my hometown, and I convinced her to come back. I said, really, we can do this. I know it's something like we talked a lot, and I convinced to come back to this apartment, but with the condition that the cat would stay with my parents because the cat, at that point, the cat had stopped eating. The cat was having like the cat would follow her all the time. Before, he would like to stay alone and go around and sleep a lot. And now he was just following her like he was afraid of something. So like we came back without the cat, and that seemed to help her a little bit. Like after 2 days, we have a rough night. Um, she woke up screaming in the middle of the night. Um, she was I've never seen her like that before. She was really terrified. And what happened was that when she woke up, she said she saw something like in our doorstep, like a figure, like someone standing there watching us. I don't know. And when I looked at it, there was nothing. I walked around the apartment. I searched, and there was nothing. We were alone there. But I realized that our door was open when she woke up in the middle of the night, like screaming. And especially because of the situation, the context of our lives, like living in this shitty ass apartment, we were like closing the door every night, and the door like it doesn't open itself alone. It just stay closed if you close it. So like after that, I didn't find anything obviously, but when I realized that the door had kind of opened itself, that was really weird. That was really weird, and at that point, that was when things started to affect me. That was when I finally accepted that something was not right, and well, I had to take her by car to her parents' house, which is also in my hometown, like 1 hour away. So, like in the middle of the night, I got the car and we went together. And I took her there, and she stayed. She didn't want to come back. She was crying a lot, so I had to come back alone. Well, the next days started to make me feel really uncomfortable. Like I feel like that thing that was around her that was making her life difficult. Like I don't know. I think it went to me. I can't explain, but like being alone there really changed things. I started to um, I started to feel really weird and kind of understand how she said she was feeling before. And actually, one day before she went back to her hometown, my hometown, um, I was I was brushing my teeth because like we have 1 hour to eat at lunch every day. So I would come back home and we would eat together. And I just got home and I was late as always. So I made a sandwich and I ate and went to brush my teeth. I thought she had been sleeping as she was doing that all the time. And as I was brushing my teeth, and I saw something pass behind me while I was doing it on the mirror. And so I thought, well, she's at home obviously, and she woke up and she's doing something. So after I finished, I went to look for her, and she wasn't there. She had gone to the park to I don't know, do some things downtown. So I was really alone in the apartment, and that would like creep me out. But again, I didn't really think much of it. But after she left the apartment and I stayed alone, that was when I started to think about those things, like think how the cat reacted, think about how it was really crazy that my girlfriend that I've known for 1.5 years had changed completely her behavior in a matter of weeks. Um, so so like this next week passed like I was sleeping a lot, being tired all the time. I started to feel bad. I started to have problems sleeping, even though I was tired, and things were not right. At this point, telling this story, it's a really intense experience. So I'm sorry if I'm talking too fast or I'm getting nervous.
No, you're doing fine, man. It's actually very well laid out. I think you're doing a great job. Keep going.
All right, thank you. Anyway, so um, okay, so a week passed, I guess, like 3 or 4 days, and I was alone in the apartment, and the place really started to bother me. I didn't see any shadows or heard any animal-like noises, but I really felt this. It wasn't like a sadness. It was like I was kind of afraid, I guess. Like I felt afraid walking around. And in one of my last days, I even changed the room because I thought like the room wouldn't get enough sunlight, and so I went to another smaller room so I could feel like more protected, I guess, more safe. I don't know. And okay, so it was like 27th of October when the worst events of the of all of this happened. So I remember I went to work as usual, and at work like things were normal. There are some details I kind of forgot to mention that like one day I met this guy that lived in one of the apartments below mine. And as we were going up the stairs, he said like, yeah, he made a joke like, "Hey, you another person moving in? I think you will not stay long because there's always like people coming in and out." And it didn't really bother me. I thought it was just a joke. But like, I found out a coworker that worked with me. He had stayed there, and I had asked him like I think 3 or 4 times what made him leave because like it was such a really good deal, and he wouldn't give me straight answers. He said like vague things about it, and like as I was where like I was just beginning to work there. I didn't really push him to tell me what happened. So like so I went back to work the 27th of October, and that day I felt especially tired and bad. And every time I know like I know everyone wants to finish with working and go back home and do their things and have some free time, but like at that point, I didn't want to. I wanted to work as much as possible and stay as long as possible at work because I didn't want to go back home. I did not feel good staying inside, especially when I was alone. Like I went home after work because I was really tired, and so I got to the apartment and like I think I ate something like a sandwich or something and went directly to sleep because I would be really tired all the time. So I went to sleep and I remember everything was fine. I just went to sleep immediately. And after some time, I woke up thirsty. And I woke up and I went to the kitchen to grab a glass of water. And when I went back to my room, I noticed the window was open. And well, I always leave the window closed because it could rain when I'm at work or other things. I don't know. So I just keep it open. So I just closed it and went back to sleep because I was really tired. After some time, I woke up again and noticed the window was open again for a second time. And that like really creeped me out, even though I was in a kind of like tired, sleepy state. But I closed it anyways and went back to sleep. I think it was at dawn, like 3 or 4 in the morning, was when it all happened. Like I woke up again, and I didn't like I woke up because something happened, and when I opened my eyes, I realized there was something over me, over my body, over my torso, pressing me against the bed. And I feel like I could move my legs and my arms. I wasn't like paralyzed, like someone mentioned sleep paralysis, but I could move my limbs, but I couldn't get up because there was something on me. So like I started to scream and I really started to scream and get desperate. And after like 3 or 4 seconds, that thing like disappeared and I woke up really quick. And I realized the window was open again, even that I had secured it was closed just hours before, and I was alone in the apartment. And that was enough for me. I felt really threatened. I thought like I would die. I don't know. I got really desperate. I just got my things and went to the garage and started to drive around the town because that really shook me up. And I drove around for some time. And I decided I wouldn't go back there because that place was there was definitely something wrong with that place. So I didn't go back there. I just went to a hotel because I had stayed in a hotel for my first night in here, so I knew already where to go. So I just went there and booked a night, and I stayed there for the rest of the night. And the next day I went to my work. But at that point, I had decided not to go back there. And I had a lot of thoughts in my mind because I had never had such encounter before. I had never had such a terrifying experience with something that I can't really explain. So that's when I decided to write about it on Reddit. So I found the paranormal subreddit, which has a lot of people like telling their experience, their stories, and all of that. So I really like made a huge post and explained everything. And like it didn't really get many likes. Like a lot of people comment on it, and they all gave me like good suggestions on what to do, but most of them told me to leave that place and never go back. So that's what I did. I just the next morning, I talked to my employer and I contacted the landlord. And I didn't explain what happened, obviously, but I said I would need to look for another place because I wouldn't stay there anymore. That I would move, and they were all fine with it. I didn't really have many problems with it. One of my coworkers offered me to stay there at his place, and I've been I've been here. I've been here since then. He lives alone, so we're like roommates now. And after I left the apartment, things really got better. Um, my girlfriend is still staying in her hometown, and I go back there every weekend. After this, I will get the car and go there to see her and see my parents also. And well, I don't know. I can't really explain. Now, obviously, I have some theories on what happened based on what I've experienced. I know it's a really cliche, but I think something didn't want us there, and somehow I think like after some time, I think like it may sound crazy, like obviously everything, all of this sounds a little crazy, but I think the cat had something to do with it. Like before the cat, everything was fine, and when we brought in him, that was the starting point. And even when we removed him from the house, everything just continued, and all of this happened. Um, my girlfriend right now is seeing a therapist, but like not just because of that. I think all the contact, it was such a rough experience to her, and she's being really better. We don't really talk about this. I didn't talk about it with my friends, with my family. The only things I look forward to expressing this experience was like Reddit, because it's people like I don't know, and now this podcast. And well, this changed my mind. This changed my perception on things. I didn't like. I'm considering being a more like not religious guy, but like being more open to the spiritual world, respecting things more. I don't know. It really changed me, and yeah. But overall, it was a terrible experience. I think we did not deserve what happened, and I hope no one's. If someone's in there, I don't know. I hope it's not going through what we went. And well, it was it. I hope like you guys could comprehend what I said, and that's pretty much it. Thank you for inviting me for this podcast.
Yeah, of course, man. Thanks for coming on. And I guess I wanted to ask you, what do you think it was? You know, I know this isn't something you generally, you're too familiar with because you weren't really, like you said before, a spiritual guy. But have you started looking into the like paranormal stuff more? And if so, do you have any theories as to what it was? Do you think it was, like your classic, like the definition of a ghost would be, or do you think it was something else, like some type of entity, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I've read a little bit about it, and I guess we all have some notion of, especially like from the movies and all that. And well, analyzing like what happened to my girlfriend, like the animal like sounds, that was like really different. I've never heard about that before, and the stretch marks she had, and the problems with the cat. I don't know. I don't think it was like someone that lived there before, like a spirit or something, like a real person that had lived there. I think it was like an entity, like something different, something that wasn't ever human. I don't want to say demon because that sounds like hardcore, but I don't know. I think it's like a evil presence, something that doesn't want to be disturbed, something like that.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you on that. That definitely didn't sound like it didn't sound like a very low end experience. I mean, that sounds like it got pretty intense, especially near the end there. So, I think that there was definitely something there. And, it's really interesting when you mention your girlfriend and the behavioral changes and then something marking her. And it's some really scary stuff, man.
Yeah, it really is. I try to deal with things on my own for a long time. Like while all this was happening, I tried to deal with it without like talking to people and asking for help, essentially. And I really regret it. I think if I like was open and about what was happening and kind of opened my eyes and accepted it, I would have done better, and I would have moved quickly. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think that's a fantastic message, Will. Thanks for coming on, Will. Have a good night, brother.